welcome back to Calmsden, and we are going to progress through winter fairly rapidly in this video. First job we have is to sell the canola. You will have seen from the thumbnail that we do make some significant purchases later on in the video as we go through winter, and basically what this video is going to be is the first chunk of it is me skipping through winter, and every so often I will grab a bit of footage as interesting things crop up or happen, and then we'll get through to February and we actually have some real farming to do. So yeah, actually we get through to March even, because we do have some farming to do then, and we have some contracts starting to appear once we get to March. But first job is get the canola sold. I think this is a combination of our own crop and excess from harvest contract. And we had a trailer and a bit to sell, so not too bad. We made just over £35,000 from that with the environmental bonuses, so pretty happy. And I want to repaint the case. I'm gonna respray it. So there we go, nice kind of light grey colour with the black wheels. Cost us £2,000. I did not use the repaint function, so the paintwork somehow still looks kind of old, but yeah, let's go with it. There's a Tedder on sale. We don't have a Tedder at the moment. There is also a 7R on sale, but it's not the direction I want to go. But £5,500 for a Tedder is pretty nice. We do need one on the farm. We've been leasing one, so yeah, pick that up. And we're back at the store. We're borrowing some money because there is a Horst Evo 12 for sale. This is a big direct seeder. And this fits in with my plans to expand into big machinery on here. So we don't have a tractor that can run it at the moment. We've had to borrow a bunch of money. It cost us £65,000, which is a bargain for this big seeder. A couple of grand to repair it. So I'm going to tow it up to the BGA with the case, and as it would happen, we are borrowing a lot of money. This is the tractor that's in the thumbnail, the Challenger 2-track. So I had wanted to get the Challenger MT700 from Sid Modding that has just released, but the new version came up on sale, so we're going to buy that instead. So we've had to borrow a bunch of money. This is a £210,000 tractor, but it gives us 430 horsepower, so we can run the seeder that we've brought. This was not messed with at all. This was just how it cropped up because I wanted the other one. The other one would have cost us a bit more money actually, but yeah. So we've now got a 400 horsepower Challenger tractor, and we've got a 12-meter seeder. So we need to look for some other big implements in the sales or in the mods. So I have realised that since I moved versions of the map, we have not been producing manure. Something with how I transported the placeables in meant that the cowshed did not pick up that manure point, so I had to empty it, delete it and replace it. So it may look a little bit different, but yeah. And we just got about £39,000 from selling the lettuce and the honey. So I've knocked a little bit off of the ever-growing loan, and we've got some butter to sell as well from our farm dairy. This guy is still in testing as of Monday. I mean, you're probably watching this video on Wednesday or Thursday, but hopefully it'll have had some progress. It seems to have just sat on the first stage of testing for 4 days at the moment, which is kind of frustrating, but you know, it will progress, I am sure. So I'm going to do a very bad job of loading this up. This butter seems incredibly heavy on the skid steer, but it's not the best place to pick pallets up from, so we're going to go with it. I've got a few more in there to collect, so we'll get this up to the garden centre to sell. So yeah, that manure spawn point thing was a bit annoying, and it took me a little while to get it sorted, but it's sorted now, so we are spawning manure. First load sold, another 5 pallets on the back, and we got about £17,000 for the butter. And I need to now grab some liquid fertilizer to take up to the greenhouses. those things are really doing well. They're the hydroponic greenhouses, so they use liquid fertilizer, but they produce quite a lot more, which is kind of nice. We also have some bunch of slurry that we need to shift, so we need to empty the slurry tender. So I know the weather's not the best for slurry spreading or digestate spreading, but I'm going to throw this on the grass. So grass fields with precision farming ignore over fertilization, so just going to bung more digestate on here. It'll get used as we either once we mow it or for the corn that's going to go in here afterwards. That just seems a sensible way to empty out that slurry tender so that we can then take some slurry up to the BGA. That job done. It's now March. There's still snow on the ground, but there are 5 fertilizing contracts which I have picked up because we desperately need the cash to repay the loan that we borrowed to buy the new tractor. So while we wait for it to warm up a little bit, I am going to get a feed mix done. So I will get the cows fed, and then hopefully the weather will have improved a little bit and we can get some contracting done. And then once that's done, we're going to get the field up behind the dealer sown with our soybeans. I think I went soybeans, but I'm not. No, not soybeans. We're going linseed, aren't we? Yeah. So I got some silage in the mixer, got some mineral feed in. I'm putting about 3 bags off of the pallet at a time. Not a lot, but it's something. And 3 bales of hay. We are finally getting through. I think these are the very first hay bales we made on here. We are finally almost through them. We have had some calves over winter, so that's nice. The herd is growing. I find it kind of hard to keep track of them with how I've got so many mixed breeds in there. But yeah, just looking and trying to work out how much fertilizer I need for the contracts that we have. I massively overestimate this. Not sure if fertilizer use changes with precision farming enabled, or if I just did the maths wrong because I was doing it live, which is never a good thing. But yeah, I brought 14 bags of fertilizer. We use about 10, 9, something like that for all of the fields. I do end up bringing the pickup truck down to the store to run the fertilizer out to us at the fields to save bringing the tractor back. That just seemed excessive. And the heat is really kicking in here in the little room. If you watched Tuesday's Greenlands video, you will have heard me talk about how hot it is in the UK. I'm recording this one pretty much straight after, and boy am I melting. I don't think we will be doing any more recording today, just because I feel really hot and almost lightheaded. It's grim. And I have a full day of work to do still, which is not going to be fun in here. Anyway, fertilizing going on. It's really nice to have contracts back. I am hoping, and I don't know whether we will, that we'll get some seeding contracts. We've got our big tractor and our 12-meter seeder. It would be really nice to put it to use, because most of our fields are done. I am keeping my eye on the sales for a big planter and a bigger plow. I've got a plow in mind, so this is the one that I wanted to get, which would have been 225,000, so it would have been another £20,000, 20,000 pounds. So yeah, we saved a little bit. But yes, I've installed a 6-meter plow. So we picked up there about 90,000 after the cost of fertilizer, but we do have a full spreader and a couple of spare bags. So yeah, nice little profit on that job. I want to say thank you to the patrons and to the YouTube channel members. Really appreciate the support you guys give. It helps keep me motivated and going sometimes. But yeah, so I've installed a new plow mod. It's a 6-meter plow, so I'll probably be buying that at some point when we need to plow, unless it crops up in the sales. It's only 40 odd thousand, so I might just buy it. Probably going to keep my eye out for a big cultivator as well for cultivating contracts. We really need to get that Challenger working to pay back the loan that it cost us to buy it, so that we can still look at buying field 10. Still my plan. We've got 140 grand in the bank. I think it's about 240, so we need to either borrow another 100 grand or raise it somehow. So yeah, probably going to look at buying that right at the end of March, I think. And I'm not sure what we're going to plant in there yet. Yeah, not sure. I'm also thinking that we need to sell some of the bales that we have kicking about. So we are going to just check how much seed we need. I'm going to put some seed and some fertilizer in, and we're going to give this thing a whirl. I think I used this on FS19 on Chellington. I think it was the seeder I had on there. I mean, the nice thing for precision farming is it's a direct seeder. I am going to keep the 6-meter cochlear, because for some of the smaller areas like field 12, this thing is just not going to work. So I'm going to keep the small. It's only worth about 20 grand to sell used as well, so I'm going to keep it. And what I'm doing here is with Proceed, I'm running a half width row, so we've switched off the outside or inside. We've switched off the right hand side of the seeder, because we're going to do 24-meter tram lines on here. And so to start it, you only do a half width, and that gives you your headland tram line in the right place to run the spray around. I will need to remember that we have different width tram lines on different fields, because the barley that we planted on field 6 is on 18-meter tram line, so in future we'll be doing 24. I won't go to 36 because actually we could go to 36. I don't know if there's a see and spray weeder that does 36-meter working width, but I am not going to be using the crop scanner on here. It's not worth it for the 1% extra. The cost of leasing that and leasing a sprayer is not worth it in my opinion. But we will need to do some weeding, and we've got 18-meter tram lines on the other field, so maybe I'm going to have a look in future to see if there's a 36-meter, although 36-meter tram lines on here might be a bit excessive. 24 is probably good actually. But on some of the bigger fields, if we get into the big fields, we might want to go 36. So we could do with a see and spray that does 36 meters, because the tram lines obviously hit our yield. I spoke about it when we were harvesting last time, and we did soybeans up here, and every time we went through a tram line, it took a big hit on yield. Yeah. Don't do a brilliant job in the corner there either, particularly. Yeah, I love this setup. It is big. It is bigger than I'm used to. Insert "that's what she said" joke here, which is what she said. I blame it on the heat. Yeah, so it's big. It's a bigger bit of kit than I am used to running at the moment. But I know I've said before, I do love a 2-track tractor. And when the Sid Modding Challenger released, I was kind of instantly added it in with the hope that it would crop up in the sales. And actually, it turned out that this is the base game 2-track Challenger, which worked out a slightly better deal price-wise. So yeah, we went with that. I would have probably jumped to almost any. There was a 9RX sitting in there for a long time. There was a 9R as well, both of which were very tempting. And it was really, I think once the seeder came up in the sale first at 60,000, it then made sense to buy the tractor as well. I was kind of debating in my head, do I buy the tractor and wait for the implements? And as it happened, as I was jumping through a lot of days and checking the sales very frequently, and as it happened, the seeder cropped up first. So we then needed the tractor to run the seeder. And it was going to be a case pretty much of any big enough tractor we would have had to pick up at some point. And as it turned out, a really nice tractor cropped up. So yeah, I was a very happy man when this appeared in the sales. In fact, I think, can't remember, I don't think it was when we were recording. Kartik and I were talking about these tractors. I think it was after we'd finished recording or before we started. So yeah, why I was being a little bit cagey when we were talking about it, because I had already recorded this and I had already brought myself a Challenger 2 track. And at this point, I'm going to say thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Click the like button if you did. Leave me a comment below. And if you're not already, subscribe to the channel. I will catch you next time on Calmsden.